And a good evening. Welcome out to Little Woodrow's here in the Colonnade Shopping Center. Harold Mann along with Coach P. Rossomando. And for the last 5 minutes, we've been listening to a truck alarm.
I know. We thought we'd have to fight through it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they knew you were here. They knew you were getting ready to go on the radio, so they cut it off.
Oh, great. I thought they put it on because we lost last week.
Man, hey, UIW wins, the blind squirrel finds a nut now. So before we talk about last week's game, we'll talk about what happened earlier today, your monthly luncheon, and you were out there, Coach Aqua Franklin, Alvin Brooks, Trey Clark, and what was cool about having Trey Clark out there, and you mentioned as soon as you walked up there, how about a cross-country conference championship for our women?
Unbelievable. Great
and
job.
Our soccer girls as well.
Yeah.
And you've talked the importance of how the coaches from one sport to another sport at Lamar, y'all guys get along real well, and it's really cool because it's a chain reaction from one sport to another when there's a conference championship.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody supports one another, and obviously we're getting really excited for the women's soccer championships this weekend, and then men's women's basketball starts next week. So I mean, right on the horizon, and then Trey just continues to go out and win championships.
He's got 19.
Yeah,
can you feel that? Trey Clark has 19 rings.
Incredible.
He needs one for that last toe. He's got one for all the fingers and all the digits.
Something tells me he's going to get it.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about last week. A tough loss to a team that in one poll is ranked as number 4. The number 4 team in the country. You went toe-to-toe with them and basically took them down to the clock hit zeros.
We did. Our guys played hard, and we knew we'd have a chance to win the game, and unfortunately we just didn't do enough to come out on top, and UIW did, and they got the win and we didn't, and there's really no consolation prize. It's just you're there to win the game. You're not there to get close. So I think we're all disappointed, but we're on to the next one now, and we're working on this weekend.
Little razzle dazzle on your touchdown. Receiver Cam George passing to Savon Ray. I think what's a 65-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Reaching into the bag of tricks. At what point do you decide, hey, it's time to do this?
Well, we've been practicing for about, 12 weeks, so I think it was about time to let it out. But Cam's a high school quarterback, and, he threw the ball really well every time we ran it. So I think as we were game planning, we said, hey, let's get this play up this week and let's get it ready to go and let's call it. And we did, and it worked out great. And every time you can draw the plays up on the board and they can look as good as you want them to look, but the players make the plays come alive, and they did a great job of executing it, and it was great to see Savon. Obviously, he made an incredible catch on the sideline and then stayed in bounds and finished the deal.
Stayed on his feet, too, when he kind of off balance there when he caught the ball.
Yeah.
The old saying, if and buts can and whatever it is, so close to being 14-14 at half. You got the ball, what looked like was going to be setting up a first and goal going in.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, we had a play dialed up that we liked, and when it came out, and Devin caught the ball, ran it down to the 1, and fumbled unfortunately through the end zone, and the ball went over to them, as it should, and when it goes through the end zone, so disappointing, but. When he's trying to make an aggressive play, and unfortunately it didn't work out. We just, we wish he would have secured the ball a little bit better.
Defensively, I thought your guys did a great job.
We did. I think the first 3.5 quarters we played lights out defense, and the exception of 1 or 2 plays, I thought we played really well, and then we we kind of couldn't get off the field on those last couple drives, and that was disappointing. But I think for the most part, proud of the way our defense played and the way they flew around.
At halftime, what did you talk about?
Just really making sure that our guys understood that we're in the game, and we're one drive away from making sure that it to tie the game up and go get a win. So that's what we kind of told them, and we were calm. We wanted them to make sure they were hydrating because we had a bunch of guys cramping, believe it or not.
We're at Little Woodrow's going to get our first break in. Again, we're talking Lamar University football. Cardinals, homecoming, 2023. We'll talk about it on News Talk 560 KLVI. Harold Mann along with Coach Pete Rossomando talking Lamar University football. We're at Little Woodrow's. Don't forget this coming weekend, daylight saving time. Set those clocks back 1 hour. One thing I like about it, early on we're doing this stuff trying to fight the sun, and then now we don't have to do that.
I know. Now it's just the lights that are beaming down on us. But yeah, it's been it's funny. This is crazy. This is the latest it's gotten dark in any place I've been. So
yeah, you get used to it again. Fall back. Real quick here. This past Friday night, some huge high school rivalries. Beaumont United, Beaumont Westbrook, Mid-County Madness with P&G and Nederland. Of course, your son playing for Lumberton at a big ball game at LCM. You had the wheels rolling on Friday.
Yeah, I put some miles on the car for sure. We went to the Beaumont Bowl. We watched obviously the two Beaumont schools get after it with United getting the win, and then we headed over to Mid-County Madness, and boy, that was that's the quintessential Texas high school football experience. Right, I
was going to say your first taste of Mid-County Madness. What do you think?
Very, very impressive. Appreciate the rivalry. Love the fanfare was incredible. Obviously, one side all purple, one side all black and gold. It was super impressive, and watch the teams go out there and battle. And it didn't really matter what the standings were. It just two teams going after it, and it was fun to watch.
And of course, then Dad steps in. The dad role. Yeah, that's not an easy trip from Nederland over to Mauriceville to Little Cypress. And
no.
Did you make it all right?
I did. Yeah, I made it by, I think I got there right at the beginning of the second quarter, and they played a little later.
Yeah, they kick off at 7:30.
Yeah, and it was good. It was 17-0 when I got there, and I think finished 24-7. So he played well. Defense played well. They moved the ball on offense, so it was fun to watch, and proud of him. He did a great job. And
now back to the Mid-County game. I think it was like right at 12.5 to 13,000 out there. Is that the biggest crowd you've ever seen at a high school game?
Yep, probably. Yeah, that's right up there for sure.
Again, we're talking with Coach Pete Rossomando. Cardinals this past Saturday dropping one to UIW 17-7. And looking at the conference standings, you only have that one loss. And basically, you can take care of things if you take care of your own business down the stretch.
Yeah, we guess we got to get the next one. I know that, and this is we'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk about them, but they're a really high-powered defense, and they play great defense and good team defense and take the ball away. So we got to take care of this one and not let that UIW game beat us twice.
Let's talk about what you talked about to the kids. You told us what you talked about at halftime. After the game, of course, when you look at it, you talk to the guys after the game. Obviously, you got to get ready for the next one. What did you talk about the competitiveness with this team against the fourth-ranked team in the country?
Well, we played Idaho early in the year, and we didn't fare too well. We did a poor job of going out and playing our brand of football, and we allowed them to dictate kind of what was happening in the game early on. And I just told them to just cut it loose and really play free and go out there and do the things that you know how to do and that you've been trained to do. And let's make sure that we can, come out of here feeling proud one way or another. If you leave it out there, it doesn't really matter at the end what the score is. You want to win, but you certainly want to put that your best effort out there. And I would say I told them after the game I was proud of them and that they played extremely hard, and we just had to clean some things up in order to get that win. And the margin of victory, when you're playing a team that is the fourth-ranked team in the country, they're there for a reason. It's not all just propaganda. So it's just really small. It's a small margin of victory, and you can't turn the ball over twice and not get any turnover. And I think that had a big reason why we weren't able to come out on top.
You've played the 4 conference games, 3-1. Out of the 4 conference games you've played, you've had 3 players of the week. Alfonso De Leon, obviously in a losing effort, the Cardinals punter, is a special teams player of the week in the conference. 2 punts that just, died at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, he did a great job. And more importantly, the directions of the punt were great. it was away from that dangerous returner that they have, and he put us in a good situation by obviously downing them. And one of them set us up for that drive before halftime, but that we did ultimately fumble on, but that really set us up.
Robert Coleman, just talk about his play on Saturday.
I think it was a lot of ups and downs. Probably didn't play his best football game. He would admit that. I don't know if we had too much in offensively and kind of stopped them from playing free. I think that's a coaching thing that we got to get fixed. But I think overall he knows there's some improvement that has to be made based on that performance, and he's working on that this week, so it doesn't happen again.
I don't like talking about injuries a whole lot, but there's going to be a notable player not out there for you. Number 20, Major Bowden. Just a tough injury for him.
It is, but Major's got a great. He's got a great way about himself and carries himself great, and he's going to attack the rehab like he attacks everything else, and he'll be ready to go again at some point. But that's a big loss for us because of his leadership and his ability to work, and obviously his playmaking ability.
Obviously you're going to miss his play on the field, but off the field he's going to be that same guy. He's going to be pushing in that running back room. He's going to be a leader in there, like a player coach type kid.
For sure, yeah. He's a coach's son. He's he's not one of those arrogant guys. He's really a great team guy, and we just want to make sure he's around us.
Players of the game, if you had to hand them out for this past Saturday.
I don't know. I think on defense, obviously Jalen Freeman played probably one of his best games. Yeah. From start to finish, I would say he played really well. And he's really played well last couple games. So it's good to see Jay Free coming out of his shell a little bit and playing as good as he can. And then I would say offensively, Savon Ray and Andre Dennis, two guys that played really well, I thought, and gave us a chance to to obviously extend drives and played well there. So I think those are probably our players of the game if I had to vote, but we don't give them when we don't win. So
right. Well, yeah, obviously, obviously not.
Yeah.
Okay, going to get another break in. We are at Little Woodrose. Invite you to come see us during the football season. We are talking Lamar University football. We're back on News Talk 560 KLVI. Enjoying a Wednesday evening at Little Woodrose, talking Cardinals football. Here on a Wednesday night, as mentioned, it is Homecoming 2023. Kickoff at 3 o'clock from Provost Humphrey Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Very much hype into that, Coach, when it comes to the players. Or is it just business as usual?
I think so. I think there's always a little juice when their buddies and friends that have graduated are coming back to watch them play, and their families are coming in, and there's a great crowd and great tailgating and a lot of fun festivities going around campus. I always think that's fun.
Now, do you get an opportunity on a just now and then, regular basis, do former players reach out to you and talk to you at all?
Of course, yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah, we had Glenn Edgerly today came into the office. He's a 68 grad, I think.
Right.
And then we have Steve Colazzo as our team chaplain.
Coach Colazzo.
Yeah, he's
we need to get him out here some Wednesday.
Jesse Kibble's around, and Jesse's a two-sport guy, ran track and played football
in the Hall of Honor.
In the Hall of Honor. So yeah, we have a bunch of them, and we're proud to say that they're coming back more and more every day. So
and you've got to have that bridge. You got to have that bridge from the past to the future. And I think it's pretty cool for your team when a former player comes in and it talks to them. It's exciting.
Yeah, and you saw me on the sideline at Mid-County with Carson Earp, and Carson was former quarterback and a guy
that's a cool story. Of course, he came here at Lamar, and he also worked as a grad assistant. But you're on the East Coast trying to grab a kid out of Texas.
Out of Navarro, yeah. We were looking for an older quarterback, and we had made some inquiries to some people, and got to talking with Carson, and amazing young man, and obviously wanted him to be. And him and his dad flew out for an official visit, and they stayed the weekend, and we thought we had a really good shot to get him. And I think he would have fit really well with what we do offensively. And, I think just being a little bit closer to home was something that he was probably a little bit more interested in. But, and then I got the job here, and literally I got a text from Carson. And it's funny, I still have his number on my phone. So he's like, I'm not sure if you know who this is, but and it popped up as Carson Earp. So it was great to reconnect with him. And he works with our players, in Bible study every week. And he's a local chaplain, so it's great to have him out with our guys, and they're able to connect with him because he's pretty close to their age.
Yeah. He's a young guy, and I remember the day you arrived on campus, your press conference, when you were introduced as the new head football coach here at Lamar. Carson was there, and I'm talking to him. He goes, "Hey, Coach Rossomando recruited me when I was at Navarro." I went, really? He goes, that's pretty cool.
I did, we had obviously no ill will at all. I mean, I was happy that he found some place that was great for him, and
it's weird how your paths cross again. Somewhat.
It's a small world.
Yeah, it's some 8 years later.
For sure. It is. Small world.
Coming into town, A&M Commerce. The Lions are 1-7 overall, 1-3 in the league. Don't look at that as a pushover team coming in with that record, because you look at what Old Dominion, who's a good football team, they lost by a point on the road. At SFA, they scored 27. Lost at UC Davis, another FCS year in and year out power. And at Sac State, they're a top 25 team.
Yeah, I mean, they've played good people, and they've played them well, and they've played good defense, and they're starting to really find their groove offensively, moving the football. And unfortunately, we catch them fortunately for them, they probably catch us at an opportune time as they start to put stuff together. But they're a good football team and play suffocating defense, and their front four on defense is really active, and their back guys play a lot of man-to-man coverage and put themselves on islands. And they did it against Old Dominion. It was, we figured we turned the Old Dominion game out to be a little bit different scheme, but it wasn't. And they got a lot of confidence in it, and they do it well. And we have our work cut out for us on the offensive side of the ball based on what happened last week.
Their quarterback, Josh Magana, he's a junior from the state of California. What can you tell us about him? He's a 6'2", 203. Looks like to be a pretty big kid.
He's big, but he's a good athlete. He's not a runner per se, but he'll run. He'll do some stuff with his legs and extend some plays. But I think the one thing that I think they do really well on offense is they game plan really well as coaching staff, and they get their players in really, really advantageous situations, and they do the same thing with Josh and make sure they put him in good spots, and then he knows where to go with the ball, which he does most times. So we have to do a really good job on defense and making sure we're gaps down. We missed 19 tackles last week, which is far too much. Far too many. You don't ever want to be in double digits, and we hadn't been in double digits in South Dakota, so we have to do a better job this week of working on our tackling, and that has to do some with better players that you're playing against too. I mean, you're playing against UIW, and they had some really, really dynamic offensive players, and we missed some tackles because of that, but that's not an excuse. We have to do a really good job of being technical about our tackling.
Robinson, their running back, looking at him, 5'10", 190-pounder. What's he? Is he run over you type runner? What kind of runner is he?
No, he can go 75 for a touchdown. He's done it already this year. So, but good vision, does a really good job of running gap schemes, and they do a nice job of scheming up the run game with two tight ends. And he can get tough yards, but he can certainly finish the deal when he gets to the second level.
What about the receivers? Does he got a favorite go-to guy?
Actually, there's a guy named Michaelius Elder, number 4, who played for us when I was at Charlotte.
Really?
Yeah, really dynamic player, really fast, good blocker. And then they got a big guy, big tall receiver that can run and stretch the field. They like to throw some jump balls up to him. And the tight end is Samea. He's a Sour Lake kid, went to Hardin Jefferson, and really super athletic, and plays on their punt team, and does a lot of things for them. He's a really good player, so they're going to try to get the ball to those guys.
Well, especially for him coming home and playing in front of family and friends.
Oh yeah,
he's going to have that extra juice. He's going to be extra pumped up.
Oh, he'll be juiced up for sure. And his brother, I'm sure, will be at the game. His brother plays at HJ, so good family, and I know that he'll be a good player, and he's going to work really hard in the game.
What about on defense? What will they show you defensively?
They're 4 down front, and they play a lot of man-to-man. They switch it up, but, man, they're going to be in your face and down in there, and it's your job to beat them. and they're pretty confident in it. And, they got a lot of veterans. They got a bunch of seniors playing on defense, and you can tell by the way they play together. They have a good synergy when they're playing, and they run 11 hats to the ball, which is always good defense. And, it'll be a heck of a challenge. I'm excited to go against them.
Now, they're a team that's transitioning from Division II to Division I. Is there a different style of athlete, maybe from the D2 to D1? I mean, you put on the pads, the helmet, strap it up, you're on the football field. They're still making that transition.
Yeah. I coached Division II for a long time, and we had a lot better players than a lot of Division I FCS schools around, because you have lower academic standards.
Yeah.
As far as being a qualifier through the NCAA, so you can get really, 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 really good players that the Division I schools can't take. And especially JUCO guys who maybe their clock started or something. And, there's no clock rule in Division II. It's all semesters. So you could have started school 10 years ago and still have eligibility left.
Okay.
So, they've done a good job of putting that together before they went to Division I, and that's why their defense is so stacked.
No, it's kind of unique when we talk about head coaches every week, because you seem to know somehow. Are you familiar with the head guy at A&M Commerce? Has your paths crossed at all?
I just met him at our league meetings. Good guy. Clint's a good guy, and offensive guy for the most part. Played quarterback there. Yeah. I think he's in their Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure he is. So he's back home, and he's trying to build that program up just like we are here at Lamar.
Again, we have the Cardinals and A&M Commerce. Before we get our third break in, we'll talk about a couple rules that we might have talked about at the beginning of the year. First downs. The clock no longer stops.
Yeah.
Unless you're within 2 minutes of the first half or inside 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Do you like that? Do you see that moving the game along quicker?
I think it has some effect. Probably takes about four or five plays out of the game. I don't, because it's not inside of 2 minutes, your 2 minute drill is really not affected. What's affected is when you're down 2 scores. When you're down 2 scores, you got to really speed it up. You almost got to play 2 minute mode when you're down 2 scores, because the clock's not stopping.
You got to get up there and down the ball or whatever.
No, I don't think you get that extreme, but I think you got to play higher tempo, and you got to maybe go to your 2 minute menu a little bit in the pass game so that you're snapping the ball fast. I think those things are going to be critical in that. When you're down 2 scores, we saw that a little bit this week.
We're at Little Woodrow's talking Lamar University football. It's the Coach Pete Rossomando Show. Harold Mann along with Lamar football coach Pete Rossomando talking Cardinal football here on this first day of November, meaning last night was October 31st. Did you have any trick-or-treaters at the Rossomando Casa?
We sure did. We had some of the families came over, my staff and their little kids, because we had a great neighborhood to trick-or-treat in, and, we had some pizza and hung out.
What candy did you hand out?
We just got the variety bag, but Snickers and Milky Ways and Twix, and
he didn't bring any leftovers to the radio guy. I've been begging for candy all day, and I've just been striking out.
But you could have went around with your Cardinal sweatshirt.
I know,
and you could have did some trick or treating.
I could have dressed up as a radio guy or something.
Yeah, you could have said you're Harold Mann.
Yeah, but now, as a kid, what's your favorite costume? Can you remember dressing up as trick-or-treating?
I remember my mom made me a Dracula costume when I was in second grade, and it was the coolest costume. I had the teeth, I had the blood, I had the face paint. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'd say when we were growing up, you went door to door, get the pillowcases, and
fill
them up with candy and all that. So,
and then we would go home and we'd put them out on the rug, and my brother and I would divide them up, and he'd say, "Okay, I don't like these," and I'd say, "I don't like these," and we'd switch them up, and he'd say, "I trade you 2 of these for 2 of those." That was like trading, playing cards. It was fun.
My dad was just a different. He'd pull on the phone. He goes, "I want that candy bar. I want this candy." I'm like, "Come on, dude! I went out and got it." So, but now that had to be pretty cool.
It was good
for that last night.
And our neighborhood goes all out. I mean, the decorations are incredible, and it's really, really a good spot for kids to go for Halloween.
Yeah, I was in Lumberton for a few years, and our subdivision was the same way. It was a lot of fun, especially the little ones. Now, when the 14 or 15-year-olds come knocking on the door for candy, it's like, dude,
Yeah, I get it. As long as they do a good job and they're respectful, man, I give them candy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Again, you're getting ready for homecoming 2023 with the Texas A&M Commerce Lions coming in, a relatively new school in the conference. This will be the first meeting between the Cardinals and A&M Commerce as A&M Commerce. Now, I have to look back here. I'm not sure when they're at East Texas State if the Cardinals played them very much.
Yeah, I don't remember, and that would be way too far to see if I can look at depth charts, even those guys are still playing. So.
Well, thanks to James Dixon, Saturday's meeting will be the 14th all-time meeting between the Cardinals and Lions, dating back to the 1951 season. Lamar's first as a 4-year institution, but its first meeting since 1963. Lamar trails the all-time series 8-5, 5-8, however you want to say, but they've not played since 1963. I was a year old.
Yeah, I wouldn't even the thought process of that.
No, you young guys here. Again, in case someone's just jumping aboard with us with the homecoming, you got all kinds of. Before all that, I want to go back to the UIW game. Just under 7,000 fans out there. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Great to see people coming back out to see Lamar football. And, there's more to come, and we hope that they keep supporting. And we want to make sure we give them a great product. And, Jeff O'Malley and the staff, they do an unbelievable job of providing a great experience for our fans. And we're going to continue to do that. We want them to know that they're important to us, and we want them in the stands.
And I asked you this Monday during your weekly press conference about the boisterous of the fans. If you could hear them, which obviously you can't because you have a headset on.
Yeah.
But they don't just sit back and watch the game.
No, they're in it.
Yeah, there was a few questionable calls, and we'll leave it at that. And I loved hearing the fans boo if it didn't go Lamar's way. I like the enthusiasm, the fans into the game, knowing the game, and things like that. That's pretty cool.
It was good. We had when we blocked that field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, the fans went crazy, and then when we held them inside the 20 again and no points, it was just great atmosphere. Our players were feeding off it. It was great.
One thing I'd like to see, and I know the marketing is working on it. Your kids talk to their college classmates, getting more students in the stand, and to me that's if I'm a college student not playing football, where would I rather be on a Saturday afternoon than behind a visitor's bench heckling them, keeping it clean, but heckling them. And, that's one area I'd love to see our student body improve on, get more and more students out to the game.
They're getting better. There was probably a third full.
Yeah.
Whereas, when we played Lincoln, I'm not sure there was 25 people over there. So they did come out. They did support. They said they were gonna, and we got to continue to make friends too as football players on campus, making sure they're the ambassadors, not just the marketing people.
You're right.
Our players are going to be the best ambassadors for us to get students in the stands, and the way they treat people, the way they invite people, faculty, students, that's going to be the most important part. And I learned that from the guy I worked for last year, Will Healy, used to say to players, go shake a hand. Every day, shake 2 people's hand that you don't know and invite them to a game. And within, I think, 2 years, Will had the whole student section sold out. So I think we're in the right. We're moving in the right direction.
Now, do you tell your players or ask your players or recommend to players, how you want to say it, hey, get out there in the quad, go to the Setzer Center, do what you can to get your non-student athletes to the game?
I think it's better to do in class. I think when you're in class, you leave in class, you say, hey, we're having a game, love to have you there. It'd be great. And you just got to keep meeting people, and people will show up. And I think people don't want to show up and root for people they don't know. So I think we got to get to know them, and we got to get our players out there more on campus. We're doing that this week on Thursday. They're going over to Set, and they're gonna get a chance to meet and greet and invite some people to the game. So we're hopefully homecoming. We got some people coming back. Let's fill those stands up, and let's have a great time and watching Lamar football. And I know we're not where we want to be right now, but
you're heading in that direction.
I hope so.
I know so.
It's a daily. For us, it's a daily operation. Everything we do is heading for the future, and the future is now.
I talked about the non-student athletes coming out, but the crossover sports is pretty cool. As you'll get softball players, baseball players out. Of course, if there's a sports in session, it's kind of hard to do that if you're right, especially right now in basketball. They're playing right now in an exhibition game. It's hard for them to come out, just like it's hard for you to go out to a soccer or volleyball game because you're playing in season. But for instance, spring football. I remember your football guys going out to a baseball game.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And you sit behind the visitors' dugout, and you rag them and give them a hard time. And to me, you climb in their heads, and that's what it's about. And that's what I want to see at our Lamar football games. And I had someone ask me years ago, why doesn't the student body sit behind the home bench? Nope. You want them behind the visitors' bench.
Well, I'll say this. Coach Hooks and her team are amazing. They're at every game. They're pumping it up. They have a lot of fun doing it, which is great. That's what you want, right? It's an event, right? And let's use it as an event. And I think obviously Alvin and his team have been at all the games, and Coach Aqua and her team. And to me, that's really what it's all about. And we've been to basketball games, and we've certainly been to a bunch of baseball games and softball games, and we want to make sure that we all support each other, because if we're not, who's to say the students are going to support us? We got to support each other. So we're going to continue to do that, and I know our staff will continue to do it with their teams, and we appreciate it. I hope they know that.
Before we get our final break, and let's take Pete Rossomando back to high school.
Yeah.
Did you compete in any other sports besides football?
I was a baseball player until my freshman year when the ball started to curve.
We don't like that move. We don't like that movement stuff.
I was like Pedro Serrano. I can hit straight ball very far.
Yeah,
but everything else I couldn't touch.
Trust me, I know. Put it on a tee, I'm fine, but that thing moves.
So I realized football was going to be my way. So I went out for track my sophomore year, and I threw the shot. I actually ran the 55 in indoor, and I threw the discus. So
you didn't do the hurdles or the 100?
No, I didn't do. I was 230 pounds, so I was a sprinter. I could run in a short distance. Anything over 100, I was done.
Going to get our final break in. Again, we're at Little Woodrow talking Lamar University football with Pete Rossomando. News Talk 560 KLVR. Harold Mann along with Coach Pete Rossomando talking Cardinal football's home stretch here to the top of the hour as the Cardinals get ready to take on A&M Commerce in Southland Conference play. Cardinals coming in on the season. That's not right. All right, Cardinals coming in on the season, of course, with the 4 wins, including 3-1 in conference play. And A&M Commerce, they have 1 conference win coming against McNeese State, and then they also have that's their only win of the year. Looking at the standings, UIW 4-0, excuse me. Nichols 3-0. Lamar 3-1. Then Houston Christian 2-2, and go on down the list from there. And down to North Northwestern State, and I don't want to get into it too much about the Northwestern State situation, but I tried to figure out the games that they have canceled. Their opponent, they're going to pick up a win. Is that correct? How's that going to work the rest of the way?
For conference standings, yes. For conference standings. It won't. The NCAA doesn't recognize them as wins, but the conference will, as for conference championships and seedings. So, it is what it is. I mean, that's obviously unfortunate for everyone that we're in this situation, and it's just the way it is, and you got to deal with it. I mean, in life, sometimes you don't get what you want, you get what you deserve. So that's where we are. We got to work through it.
All right, here we are on Wednesday night, not that far away from homecoming. 3:00 kickoff on Saturday. By the way, if you've not gotten your tickets, 409-880-1713. You're expecting a big crowd out there. This past Saturday against UIW, just under 7,000. Let's surpass that. Let's get up over 10,000. Let's get maybe 12 out there, if not more.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
You guys come out of that locker room and look out and see that crowd.
Well, we have the best facilities in the Southland Conference.
Oh, without a doubt.
And the best stadium in the Southland Conference, not only for us, but for our fans.
Yeah.
The view, the sights, the concessions, everything is better than every place that we play, including bathrooms and things like that. So come on out and fill the stand. Let's fill the place. I mean, I remember seeing pictures when they brought football back in 2010 with the fireworks going off and every seat packed. And we want to get back to that. We should get back to that.
I kind of like how you guys enter the stadium before a game. For the longest time, a weird circly concrete ramp you walk down. What you do when you come up before warm-ups.
Yeah.
But when you come down before the game, you're locked arm in arm, and you come down the hill, run between the band. They fire up the fight song. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is always fun, and our kids do. They do a great job with it. They have a lot. They try to make me look cool out there, so I appreciate it.
I thought you always look cool.
Yeah,
really. I'm not going to jinx you. I'm not going to jinx you, and I'm going to be watching Saturday. Have you ever thought, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall?
I'm cautious going down that hill now.
I'm sure I would be too.
20 years ago, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. Right now, I don't have a problem with it. I just don't. I don't want to land face first into the plywood. So.
Yeah. Well, 20 years ago, you probably done somersaults down the hall or down the hill.
I had a shot to do it. Yeah.
All right. Again, that's going to be a 3:00 kickoff, and it's something we've talked about that before. Those mid-afternoon kickoffs. The weather is supposed to be spectacular on Saturday.
It is.
And we should really enjoy it with a good crowd and homecoming.
Another reason why they should come, right?
Absolutely.
Beautiful Saturday in November. I mean, it's going to be almost 80 degrees and sunny, and what a great atmosphere to watch football.
And you're going to be out of there by 6:30 at the latest.
Yeah, go grab dinner, have fun afterwards, and go home and watch the late game.
Let's see what we got about the 3 minutes here. We know about major situation, but besides that, how healthy are you? In pretty good shape.
Yeah,
coming
good.
in.
Good. I think we came out, surprisingly, come out of a physical game, and I think obviously bumps and bruises, guys that just need to get work, but guys have practiced all the last couple days and haven't had any issues with that. And there's always a surprise here or there throughout the course of the week of practice, but I think for the most part we're pretty healthy for this time of the year.
Just talk about the schedule between now and kickoff.
Oof, I mean, we got up our morning practice tomorrow. I'll go back to the office tonight.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that real quick. The life of a coach, and again, I want to get your wife on here within the next couple of weeks so we could talk to her about the life of a wife of a head football coach, because you left practice to come out here to do the coach's show.
Yeah.
As soon as you take those headsets off, you're heading back out to the university to prep for practice tomorrow.
We are, yeah. We're going to go back and finish. We actually watched part of the film before I came, and we'll watch the rest of it, and then get the scripts ready for tomorrow for practice, get the cards drawn, and get out of here about 10:30 and be back in here for a staff meeting at 7 a.m. and team meeting at 7:30, and then we practice at 8:50. So,
what about on Friday night, the night before a game? Do you try to get the team together? You want to make sure they're in their dorms at a certain time and things like that?
We have team meal every Friday night together, and we do that in the Cardinal Club. And then from there, we'll go to the bonfire this year. So.
Okay, very good. And that's over. Is that going to be over in the field by Spindletop?
Oh, yes, sir.
Good.
Yeah,
So.
it's over there, and guys love it, and they've talked about it since I've got here, and so it'll be a great atmosphere, great environment. And Jeff O'Malley will be talking, so he's going to get everybody fired up.
He gave up his talking time at noon today.
He did, that's rare.
I know. You keep a microphone away from him, but he handed it over to Trey Clark. So
yeah, he did.
Much deserving.
Much deserved, no doubt.
And then on Saturday, what's the process?
We bring him in 9:30. We do a walkthrough. We answer any last questions about the game plan, and then we move to getting pregame meal together, and then we walk over, and then we're pretty much rolling for pregame and getting ready to go.
Well, so I know what color hoodie or shirt to wear. What are we wearing on Saturday?
I don't think they've announced it yet.
Okay. I'll bring 3 shirts. I'll bring the white, I'll bring the black, and I'll bring the red.
I mean, I can usually say whatever I want, but I don't want to. There's so many people that are behind the scenes on this. I want to make sure they make the announcement.
You just worry about ready to get and going.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. We will see you Saturday afternoon. Cardinals homecoming 2023 with Texas A&M Commerce. Then we're right back here next Wednesday night at 7.
Yes, sir.
All right, that Coach Pete Rossomando. Again, thank everybody for coming out. Tonight we have Cardinal football here on KLVI. 3 o'clock on Saturday against Texas A&M Commerce. Good night, everyone.